Testing one, testing one. All athletes, if you could please try to make your way into transition. All athletes, please make your way into transition if at all possible. Try to get those bikes. And we've got bike check-in for sprint at 3:30. That's the reason for the push. Certainly appreciate you guys making that movement reasonably quickly. Still have quite a few bikes still sitting in transition, so ask that you guys please make your way. And then be very careful as you're exiting the venue. We do have a super sprint triathlon that is about ready to happen. Not ready yet. Not there yet. Okay. Force clear.
Yeah, I'm probably going to train how we actually start. But their volunteers have it locked down. They have crossing.
What is good? Well, I'm. That would help. Cover that up. Oh.
Yes, we're doing the best. Probably going to miss.
That up. Yeah. Gonna have to. That's not quite ready for timing.
But my
Right? Yes, Tim Young.
Yeah.
Go, Heather.
Heather. Oh, okay. All right,
Now I'm
awesome.
going to know you. Right.
I got stuck in.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congrats.
Hey, I got nice.
Yeah. Give her a high five for us.
All right, everybody, we're minutes away from lining up our women for the super sprint today. And again, if you didn't hear me earlier, they'll be diving in off the dock and going directly south to the buoys, where the kayaks are out south, short of the bridge. Make a quick turn, come up the ramp, and then they are going to run along that sidewalk behind all of you who are hanging on the edge of the lake, grab their bikes, and then do 5 very, very fast laps. Total of 4 kilometers on the bike. They then transition to the run, do 2 quick laps around the expo area, get rid of their running gear, run right back down this ramp, dive off the dock, and do it all over again. Last year, our defending champion, Sarah McClarty, one of the great triathletes in our sport, did that swim, bike, run in 37 minutes. So it's constant action. Transitions are critical. You'll see it looks like all but one athlete is wearing a wetsuit. I'm quite sure none of them will be wearing wetsuits on the second swim. And again, transitions are just critical. So they're getting their last minute instructions. We'll do the introductions of each athlete in just a minute and get this race started.
Have a done. Welcome. Hey, thanks. Hey, good to see you. We're back in your backyard now, huh? Yeah. How'd it go? Good. Hey, world. That's awesome. Hey, back. Yeah. Toby. Oh, wow. Diving. Yeah. Thanks. Bob, Mark will help us tonight. There. All right. Help. More metal. Yeah, with Ashley. I'm trying to go to Kevin jumping in, buddy? Have you heard John? Yet for timing. John, Betty.
Number 9 is Johanna Gartman. She's also a Colorado Springs girl. Number 10 is Megan Foley from Salt Lake City, Utah. 11 is Samantha Kennedy from East Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah, well,
Number 12 is Sarah McClarty. She's our defending champion. Sarah's from Claremont, Florida, that is. And number 13 is Julie Stupp. She's from Austin, Texas. 14 is Taylor Spivey. She's the collegiate national champion. Be looking for a great result from her today. She's from San Luis Obispo, California. And finally, number 15, Kala Schlabach from Arlington, Virginia. So those are our 15 women we'll be seeing come through here very shortly. Oh, yeah.
Never met my wife.
I have not. Jimmy on. Well, I'm sure I saw you last.
You want to see some fast transitions, head on over to the swim start. The transition area is lined up right where, outside of where the swim
All right,
start
again,
was,
our
the
women
swim
are getting their last-minute
banner.
instructions
arch. And
from Jay Ritterback, our official.
Well, is that with my wife too? Yeah.
I told you know when we had 18
I think we've got some last-minute timing changes that we're working on. Just waiting for the go-ahead from Craig Hankin, who is essentially a race director for all of our drafting events, draft legal events, and certainly this Super Sprint event.
I haven't heard John yet. Wait. I prompted him.
Might as well give one big shout out. We've got a good crowd here. I want to give some recognition to the guy standing on the dock with a white hat. That's Rob Urbach, the CEO for USA Triathlon. I want to give a huge round of applause. Rob is the one who makes the decisions about where these races go, how they're run. Everybody in the world reports to him. And guy doesn't sleep. He'll be up all night tonight, and he'll race the sprint in the morning himself. So good luck, Rob. Thank you for all your hard work to make these things happen. And throughout the next 38 or 39 minutes, we'll talk to a few people while we keep you abreast of what's going on. But I see this guy standing over here, and in case you haven't said hi to him, Mark Allen, 6-time Ironman world champion, first ever ITU world champion in 1989. Again, the International Triathlon Union, which was founded in 1989 in Avignon, France. Mark was the first champion inducted into the first ITU Hall of Fame just this past year in Avignon. What did that mean to you, Mark?
That was a great honor, you know, to be at the first ever ITU World Championships in Olympic distance, which was the big first stepping stone to getting us into the Olympics, which happened, as you know, in Sydney in 2000. And then to 25 years later be honored as one of the first inductees into the ITU Hall of Fame that was just spectacular. And, you know, that race happened in France. I had a lot of good luck in France. But at this moment now, I'm just excited about the super sprint.
It's pretty cool, huh? I mean, 38 minutes, 39 minutes for the women. Swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run. Not exactly your speed, huh?
Well, it's short, but the pain is condensed. You can't escape that. It's really exciting, and I'm nervous.
And how about this age group nationals? 5,000 people here today and tomorrow racing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, all awaiting the award ceremony tonight where we'll announce the location for next year. Pretty exciting.
It is. You know, the first Ironman I did was in 1982, and there were only 1,000 people in that race itself. So to have over 5,000 in the National Olympic Distance Championships 2015 just shows how immense the sport has become, and the level of athletes that are here is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, we'll get started here in just a minute with the announcement introduction of our swimmers. Again, I see a couple swimmers there who are not wearing wetsuits. It looks like they might be shedding them. This is looks like a little chess game. I talked to Sarah McClarty early on and a couple others, and they were all wearing wetsuits going in. And then they saw a couple of the girls not wearing wetsuits, and I think they changed their mind, apparently. So we've got a mix. All right, we're going to get going here. They're setting the final timing mats out there, but we're going to do our introductions, and I think by the time we're done, we will be ready to roll. And they will line up according to how they're introduced. They pick their spot, I believe, just like in the ITU races, the World Triathlon Series. So wearing bib number 1 from Colorado Springs, 20-year-old Avery Evanson. Avery Evanson. Bib number 2 from Colorado Springs on Team USA, Erin Jones. Bib number 3, again from Colorado Springs, Katie Gorsican.
Overall time only. That's all we can do.
Wearing number 4 from Pleasant Hill, California, Kelsey Withrow.
We're going to go then.
Bib number 5 from San Francisco, California, Brianna Baird. You always have to have one Canadian. And bib number 6, the bronze medalist at U23 World Championships just a couple years ago, Joanna Brown.
We will have the radio on.
Wearing bib number 7 from Tempe, Arizona, Nicole Truxas. Bib number 8, our 2-time amateur national champion, now turned professional, Heather Lenway. Bib number 9 from Colorado Springs, Johanna Gartman. From Salt Lake City, wearing number 10, Megan Foley. Bib number 11 from East Lansing, Michigan, Samantha Kennedy. Our defending champion and absolutely the most experienced super sprint person, Sarah McClarty. Bib number 13 from Austin, Texas, and Tucson, Arizona, Julie Stupp. Wearing number 14, Team USA, Redondo Beach, Taylor Spivey. And number 15 from Arlington, Virginia, Kayla Schlabach. All right, I'm going to head down and get this started. Again, we're going to see one lap on the swim. Going to come out at the ramp where the cheer flags are, run along right behind all of you on the sidewalk, get on their bike. Bike 5 laps, run 2 laps, and do it all over again. Okay, we are ready to go. Ladies, you are in the hands of the starter. So that was a nice planned dive into the water. In about 18 minutes or so, they'll be running down this ramp after having swum, bike, and ran full speed to the same spot and dive off. It's pretty crazy. So again, this is a 325-meter swim. We've got some swim specialists. Certainly Sarah McClarty will be up there. I expect to see Julie Stupp, a few of our Team USA girls. And of course, this is draft legal on the bike. So again, it was very strategic. I was just talking to Rob about this whole wetsuit thing. I mean, I was surprised to see them all wearing wetsuits, basically except for Sam Kennedy, who's not a swimmer. And yeah, what happened down there, Rob? They started taking off one by one.
I think there's a little bit of psychological warfare going on there. They started to take off the wetsuits, look around, and look at each other, and dare those to go without the wetsuit. So I think you'll see a couple struggle to get them off as they run up the ramp here, and those without the wetsuits might pass those with wetsuits. So interesting dynamics.
Yeah, for sure. Again, it's a long run from that ramp to their bikes. So you'll see them running in their wetsuits and trying to strip them off pretty quickly. Again, several of these people, Nicole Truxas, Julie Stupp, etc., collegiate swimmers, D1 swimmers. Sarah McClarty, one of our historically great swimmers. Taylor Spivey, again a D1 swimmer.
West or no west? I committed to that when I out. I remembered no one was but I didn't.
So I was mistaken. I thought they were actually exiting right over there by the tier flags. They're actually exiting on the other side of the bridge. So they've got a heck of a long run for the transition.
I think most guys are. Yeah, most went out. Hey, we got a couple. Yeah. I'd like to have one warm up. Everybody off the path? Everybody clear? Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hey. Gotta be really careful, guys, on this. Here for a while. Bro came too. And his daughter is racing.
So they're already out of the water. Here they come. Here's Avery Evanson. Avery Evanson, first out of the water. As expected, Julie Stupp, Taylor Stivey. There's Erin Jones, Nicole Truxas, Brianna Baird. So they're all up there. But Avery Evanson got off to a nice lead. And they're already onto their bike. So Joanna Brown, you can see running with her wetsuit. She had her wetsuit on, had to take that off and run. That's Sam Kennedy coming up. Sam Kennedy, by the way, was a semi-professional soccer player, went to med school, and is now a professional triathlete. So she does it all. I asked her not to kick anybody out on the course today as a soccer player, but she's a strong cyclist. She should be on that bike. They've got to run their bikes to the mountain line. She's on and everybody's off. Again, they will be coming back through this transition area 5 times on the bike. And I'm walking through the transition area now to make sure all the wetsuits and their swim goggles and such are in their boxes. So I just got informed that it's okay to have the swim goggles out, but if anyone threw a wetsuit outside of their box, they're going to get a penalty. And it's very strict. I was just informed by our head official, Jay Ritterback, if they're going to use their equipment the second time through, they can leave it out of the box. So I see goggles here and swim caps. So here they come, the lead pack. So there you've got Erin Jones, Brianna Evanson, Julie Stupp, Taylor Spivey. So there's your lead pack. You got Brianna Baird trying to make up that gap because, as you all know in Draft Legal, a pack of 4 has big advantages. There's Sarah McClarty with Kelsey Withrow. Again, I have mentioned Sarah McClarty quite a number of times. I've never not seen her in first place in a sprint this early. So there's some tough competition here. There goes Joanna Brown, again, the bronze medalist 2 years ago in the U23, and Samantha Kennedy coming through. So it's a tough, fast race if you're not in that pack. That lead pack of 4 should be able to maintain somewhat of a gap. But then they've got to run. Erin Jones has been competing for an Olympic spot for the past couple of years, right, Rob? I mean, she was in Rio just this past week.
Erin Jones had a great race, being 17th in the first Olympic qualifier in Rio. She had a bright future with USA Triathlon.
She's up. So looks like Brianna probably got onto the back of that pack. So there you go. There's Heather Lenway, Taylor Spivey. So Len.
Coming through for the third lap, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble picking out who's who right now. Still 4 in that lead pack, but it looks like one girl's about to get back onto it, make it to 5 in the lead group. Okay.
This will be probably the best you're going to see right here. This will give you where they're at.
Okay.
Bike lap 3 in, so they finish their
And that's the
third
right order?
lap. When they leave on their bike lap 3 out, that would be. So let me
So
see.
Sarah's really
So
back
Erin,
in 7th?
bike out, yeah. So that would be their.
Okay, it looks to me like if this information is good, we've got Erin Jones, Julie Stupp, Avery Evanson, and Taylor Spivey in the front group. And Brianna Bard looked like she was about to latch on. Are those 3? Sarah McClarty back in 7th. Our winner from last year must have had a little bit
Through
slow
3
transition,
times, they'll come
perhaps.
by 2 more
Trying
times,
to
one
make
more
that up
time
on the bike.
around, then the second time around they'll come back in here and put on their running shoes and run 2 laps. Some of our men are showing up now, and they go off
the next lap.
right after the women's race.
Okay.
So you're now,
Lap 4.
they're on 4, they left on the lap 4, these people, and
Okay.
this would be, the times, looks like, 9:15, 9:16.
Yep.
Their total.
Yep.
Erin Jones, Taylor Spivey, Julie Stupp, and Avery Evanson. Again, Heather's working really hard, has kept that same distance. She's going to have some girls to work with right here.
And here we have the lead.
Nicole Truxas, Brianna Baird,
Taylor Spivey, Julie
and Sarah McClarty.
Avery Evans.
So we've got 3 distinct packs right now.
For the bike now.
We had a super sprint in Las Vegas last year where, believe it or not, all 12 women stayed together through the entire first swim, first bike, first run, second swim, and second bike, and it wasn't until a sprint finish that it broke up. It's amazing. And it looks like we've got a very distinct lead pack in this race as well, and lots of swimmers in there, which is a plus.
McClarty and Megan Foley, see if they can bridge their way up. This group of 4 is.
So when they come by now, they'll be coming into here and transitioning for the run. Again, I think Heather Lenway will have 1 lap.
They've got about a 15-second lead, it looks like, on the next.
So here they come in. You'll watch this fast transition off at the dismount line. So you see
That group is
little mistake there by Avery Evanson.
Sarah McClarty.
Has to go backing around. Whoop. Where's Taylor? Taylor? Oh.
That's less than a mile. So they will be running very
You're okay.
fast and hard. And I imagine it might sort things out a little bit.
Go, Megan! You got this!
Aaron and Julie are into T2.
All right, here we go. So there goes. So we've got all the girls out on the run. Taylor Spivey had some real complications on this transition. There's so much pressure. They're going so fast. She came to her bike. She was clipped by another athlete who had gone the wrong way with the bike. Got nailed on the ankle by the girl's pedal. Here comes Heather Lenway right now. Again, she had a mechanical on that first lap. Hung in there. She can make up a lot of time right now. Let's hear it for Heather. Let's hear it for Heather Lenway. That would- So Taylor Spivey, the long and short of it is, she's running without shoes. She's got 2 pair of shoes by her bike, but again, I just think she was confused when she got hit by the other rider's pedal. It obviously hurt her. She continued to run, went the wrong way on the run course, got redirected, and here she comes. Here comes Erin Jones after her first lap, showing just how strong she is. No big surprise. Erin Jones was a cross-country runner. And I mean, there's Taylor Spivey running shoeless. Absolutely. My guts. Big time guts. Avery Evanson, Julie Stupp. I can guarantee you she wasn't planning to run barefoot. We've got Joanna Gartman in 5th. There's Nicole Truxas running very, very strong. And again, after this lap, they come in, they drop their running shoes, except for Taylor. There's Sarah McClarty.
And this is Erin Jones starting her
Kelsey Withrow.
lead. Looking really fun. Second,
Kayla Schlabach.
Spivey and Evanson. Spivey, an unconventional choice to run barefoot. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. And we've got Julie Stupp in 4th.
So you can see also some of the runners are running with their swim cap or their goggles. And that way, when they're done with their run, they shoot their running shoes off and they're in the water. They don't have to even go for their goggles at all. Some of them have 2 sets of shoes here to change into after the first run. So there is a lot of strategy. Erin Jones obviously looks very, very strong. She was peaking for Rio last week, and it's showing. So Heather Lenway giving everything she's got, a great attitude, a great athlete, making the best of a very difficult course and a difficult situation, but looking really strong.
Let's hear it for Erin Jones. She's our leader today. Finishing up the first half of this race. She will head back into transition.
All right, so here comes Erin Jones. So Erin Jones is coming in with what should be a pretty sizable lead. Yeah, look at her run. I mean, this is what it's going to take to get to the Olympics, and that's what she's shooting for. So here comes Erin Jones into transition, and watch how fast this is. Great job by Erin Jones, followed very closely by Avery Evanson and the shoeless Taylor Spivey. So there goes Erin Jones already into the water. Taylor Spivey's going in the water. She has no transition time without any shoes, and she had her goggles. So it's Jones, Spivey, Evanson. Julie Stupp, Joanna Gartman, followed closely. Again, we expect Julie to make up some time on the swim. But Avery Evanson looking very, very strong. Nicole Truxas getting rid of her shoes, throwing them in, and she's off to swim. Kayla Schlabach, Joanna Brown, Sarah McClarty. Comes Kelsey Withrow. She's got her goggles. She's just got to get rid of her shoes. And she's off.
Much practice at, so for many of them, it's the first time doing this. So there's a lot of learning going on as they go.
10-4. Barry, if I can slide in really, Barry, if I can slide in really quickly.
Are making their way into the water, followed by Anna Baird.
Real quick, if all Olympic
So
distance
there we go,
athletes,
Sam Kennedy following Brianna Baird. And they're all going to be in the water there. We can see the lead pack has formed. And here comes Heather Lenway. She is not far off from the back pack. Again, after having a mechanical problem, being an entire lap down, she is not that far down. Again, we're going for $5,000 cash prize, 5 deep.
Olympic distance athletes, could you please get your bikes out of transition? Olympic distance athletes, please get your bike out of transition. Also, bags out of the bag check tent. We'd appreciate you doing that as soon as you possibly can. We've got a bike check-in at 3:30 for the sprint, so need your help. Thank you much.
So again, we saw Avery Evanson leading the first swim and hanging in there throughout the bike and run. So we expect her, that first lead pack with Erin Jones and Avery, going to be tough to catch. So when you talk to people who have done this race, where's Eric Lagerstrom? Are you around, Eric?
In the day.
The people who have done this race before, this style of racing, will tell you that the absolute toughest part of this race is when they go back in the water after biking and running. Their arms are extremely heavy. The body is tired, and they're back in the swim tired, which they're not used to. So absolutely, they're in the toughest part of the race right now on the second swim. USA Triathlon has sponsored 3 or 4 of these super sprints each year for the last 3 years under the leadership of our CEO, Rob Urbach, trying to invest again in our elite program, getting speed in the legs of our great athletes so as to compete on the international scene. And it's really proven fruitful. As all of you know, our women are the highest ranked professional women in the world. And right now, we are one of only 2 or 3 countries looking to have 3 athletes on both the men and women's side in Rio. And here they come. I'm guessing we've got Avery Evanson, Erin Jones, and Taylor Spivey. So those 3 have hung together throughout the first 4th, 6th, or 2/3 of this race. It'll be interesting to see if Taylor Spivey decides to use her running shoes on the run the last lap. But here's Erin Jones still with the lead, still being confident. Great transition by Erin. Avery Evanson right behind making that transition. Taylor making a very fast. Taylor Spivey to another crash. This has been a incredibly tough day for Taylor Spivey. But she's hanging in. She's doing phenomenally well.
And they should be back on the bike here
momentarily. She just keeps getting banged in transition by bikes. So here's Julie Stupp, phenomenal swimmer and great overall athlete. Joanna Gartman. There goes Julie Stupp in 4th. Again, Julie will have to ride by herself. Might be worth waiting for Johanna.
That's it, Aaron.
Got a little drafting going on.
Push the bike.
And Sarah McClarty and Nicole Truxas. Yeah, it's going to be great to talk to Taylor Spivey after this race.
I don't think she was hurt close enough to get with the 2 other leaders.
Watch behind you.
Julie Stupp in 4th. Behind her is Gertman. Here comes Sarah McClarty. Looks tough.
So just so you know, they've now got their 5 laps of the run of the bike to go and then 2 laps of the run, but the finish is is actually at the finish line where the age group nationals were. So the finish line is over by the national championship finish. So here they come on that first lap. Avery Evanson, Taylor Spivey, Erin Jones. So, and there goes Spivey on the inside. I'll tell you what, this is a free-for-all for Taylor Spivey. What do you think, Rob?
It's going on. This is thundering chaos here. This is exciting. It's all out racing. Redlining.
I didn't see any blood on Taylor's ankle, but I'm surprised at that. Again, Heather Lenway's here. Sam Kennedy is here. And here they come.
There's going to be a little confusion now.
Joanna Gartman, Julie Stupp.
First lap, get lapped. Try and keep track of who's who. There's sometimes a lap rule where if you get lapped, you have to drop out, but I'm not sure they're enforcing that today. Here come our leaders finishing up the second.
Julie Stupp is an 11-time NCAA All-American. 11 times. She was also competed at D1 track and field.
Before collegiate national champion.
And there's Spivey, Evanson, and Jones. Kelsey Withrow's trying to grab onto that pack. So Kelsey is probably a lap down. If you look at the faces of Erin Jones, Taylor Spivey, and Avery Evanson, you can just tell they are going absolutely all out
Now, but only 3
with no cares.
lead. 2 of the people in that lead group are a lap behind.
And some of the others you see coming around are, they're all going hard. They're all going as hard as they can.
Aaron Jones.
But I would say that lead 3 pack is feeling like they're in it for the money. And they're giving everything they've got to get away and bring it down to the final run. And again, there's Nicole Truxas. That the finish is over by the finish line. So they'll be coming in here after a couple more laps. They're on lap 3. So they'll come by a couple more times, get into their running shoes. So Erin Jones has retaken the lead of that group. I think they must be trading off. Taylor Spivey, Avery Evanson, Kelsey Withrow's hanging in with them, which is absolutely fine. So this race is being live streamed on the USA Triathlon website.
And looks like Brown is dropping.
$5,000 in prize money.
4 of them in the lead, 1 of whom is lapped.
More importantly, some bragging rights.
I think this is lap 4 that they're finishing up.
And for most of these girls, it's their first time doing this format of racing.
So this is going to come down to the run, it looks like, between these 3 girls that are in the lead now. One lap to go on the bike for the leaders.
So these are your leaders coming in for their bell lap. It's their bell lap. Taylor Spivey, Erin Jones, Avery Evanson. Again, Kelsey Withrow, I believe, is 1 lap down, but hanging in there because, again, that draft is so strong. She's getting the benefit of that.
Oh, okay.
And they're on their last lap. Jones, Evanson, and Spivey.
We've got 3 or 4 of those girls who are 1 lap down, but when Erin Jones,
From the leaders.
Taylor Spivey, and Avery Evanson come in,
Sarah McClarty
they're going to be running for the win.
finishing up. 1 lap to go for her.
Joanna Gartman and Julie Stupp I believe that is 4th and 5th. Bell lap for Sarah McClarty. Bell lap for Nicole Truxas. So when this lead group comes in, we're going to cheer like crazy. This will be the last time you'll see them before the final lap. And we're all going to hope that Taylor Spivey can have a clean transition. So you'll see 3 of these girls get off. Kelsey Withrow's going for her bell lap. Here comes Erin Jones, Taylor Spivey, and Avery Evanson. Taylor is going to run with a pair of shoes. She's got them on. She's the first out. There we go. Let's hear it. There are your leaders. So I was just informed that Taylor Spivey is not going to get a penalty for having her shoes out because she didn't use them. If she had used them, she would have had to put them in her basket, but she didn't use them on that first lap. There are a lot of rules to follow here. So here we go. Julie Stupp, Brianna Gartman in 4th and 5th place. And again, the money is 5 deep. The money's 5 deep. So they're in for the money. And here come their chasers, Sarah McClarty, Nicole Truxas. So this is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Money is 5 deep.
The finish is right where the finish line was for all of you that did the amateur race today. So instead of coming back here on their second lap, they will head to the finish line.
All right, Kelsey Withrow. You got it. So we have redefined racing with reckless abandon.
Can she catch up and get into the money?
Yeah, Rob likes to say this is true chaos in racing, and you can see it today. So pretty awesome. Again, it's 2:30, so we've got one more lap of the run. We're going to run over to the finish, see how that turns out, and then the men are going to race. And we've got some big, big guns in the men's race. So please stick around. A lot of familiar faces, some new faces.
Sticking together. It's still anyone's race here. Jones, Evanson, Spivey still running 1, 2, 3 within a second of each other. 1 lap to go.
All right, Sam Kennedy, good job. For a professional soccer player, from professional soccer player to doctor to professional triathlete. And Heather Lenway. Tough day sticking on. So here we come. The bell lap. Erin Jones, Avery Evanson, Taylor Spivey. Let's hear it. We're going to head over toward that finish line and see how we end up. But boy, oh boy, are they going at it. So just so you know, from a USAT standpoint, Erin Jones and Taylor Spivey are both part of our elite training academy, which we've invested in for several years, and we're showing the results of this great investment. Brianna Gartman coming through, Julie Stupp coming through. That's 4th and 5th. They're in the money. Kayla Schlabach coming through here in 6th place, followed by Sarah McClarty and Nicole Truxas.
Let's keep this finishing chute clear. We don't want any more accidents. Here comes our winner. I can't see. It looks like it might be Aaron has gotten a little bit of a break. Let's hear it for her. This is a close one. It's going down to the finish. And it's Aaron Jones in the lead, but very close behind is Evanson. Still within striking distance. Aaron Jones, our champion for the Super Sprint in Milwaukee. Evanson right behind and bringing in our third place, Taylor Spivey. What a fantastic race that was. And congratulations to Aaron for showing such grace under pressure coming back from that spill.
I'll grab that in a minute. Avery Evanson, get in there. Here we have Julie Stupp, followed by Joanna Gartman. What a podium. What a podium. So again, these five will get split $5,000. Hey, Aaron Jones, I'm going to talk to you in a minute, but I got to talk to Taylor. You okay? That was... So for those of you who are at the finish line, you all right? Your leg. So Taylor Spivey came in off of the swim, got nailed by a bike in the ankle out of transition. Didn't know she'd continue. She did the first run with no shoes, went the wrong way. What kind of day was it, Taylor?
A confusing day. It was a rough day, but I'm just happy. I gave it my all, and I got top 3, so.
You gave it your all and more. Fantastic race. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you later. Aaron Jones, champion. How was that?
Oh, it was tough, but it was a lot of fun.
Talk about the race a little bit, Aaron Jones.
Well, the swim was pretty fast because half of them were wearing wetsuits and half of us weren't. So I liked that it was like kind of even like that. The bike was just flat and hard, and the run was the same. I got hit on the bike by a pedestrian. See?
So we did get blood. I thought Taylor Spivey would have some blood on her leg after she was nailed by one bike. How did you get nailed?
There was a guy walking across the course, and he just.
Oh my! So it was a rough and Rob Urback calls this a rough and tumble kind of race. It really was, literally.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So what's coming up for you, Aaron Jones? I know you're chasing Rio, you're chasing the Olympics. You're doing a great job representing Team USA. Talk about the next couple weeks and maybe months.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going back to Colorado to get another block, but hopefully I'll be back here in Chicago for the WTS Grand Final. So I hope all of you guys can come out for that. So that'll be super exciting.
So you all know we'll be welcoming the world to Chicago, leaving Milwaukee. So congratulations to Aaron Jones, our champion. Is Avery Evanson around? Where's Avery Evanson? Avery. Avery. So Avery Evanson wore number 1 today. You were number 1 today for quite a bit of the race. Talk about the experience out there, especially the swim.
That was the most fun triathlon I've ever done in my life. That was awesome. Had some technical difficulties around T2, but that happened to everyone. So
yeah, it seemed like a lot of people had challenges.
we just got to come back from our mistakes, and then the nice thing about this race is you have time to come back.
What's next for you, Avery?
I'm hoping World Championships in Chicago.
Right on. Congratulations, top 3, Avery Evanson. She is a semi-professional soccer player. She's tough. So I'm going to make my way over to the men's race, which will start probably in about 5 or 10 minutes. And those of you who are at the finish line, if you weren't over at the start of the men's race, I strongly suggest you go over there. The action in the transition area, if it's anything like the women, is pretty darn crazy. Again, Taylor Spivey running the first run with no shoes, because she had gotten clipped by a bike, got confused, ran the wrong way, and just kept running without shoes, and still got third. Sorry, I was very excited to talk to them.
I got another mic that works. Are you staying here? Or are you going back there? Okay. Oh, no, this is a different one. So yours is up here. Are they going to do, hold on, let me just make sure. Well, I can ask him. Maybe we might do awards while they're here. I don't know. Yes, but I'm just wondering if they're doing it for the men or not. Is it okay if I move this? Is it? Trying to keep track of what's what. The mic that was on the other. Okay. This is the one. This is the one I gave you. So he came running over here with his mic from the start, but he's going back to the start. He wants his mic back. Okay. Grab that. What? Oh, okay. I think this is yours. Is that what's not?
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we're going to get ready for our men's race, I believe. I'm on my way over. So those of you who stayed here and did not see the finish, a pretty crazy update. Taylor Spivey was not the only one that got affected or hit or whatever in this race. Erin Jones, our leader and our champion, actually hit a pedestrian or was hit by I don't even know how to explain it. Erin, where are you? I mean, she won the race. Her leg's bleeding. She went down. She crashed and got back up, kept racing, and wins the race. So, I mean, Erin Jones, Taylor Spivey, we got a little blood out on the course, but that's what super sprint's all about, I guess. Test, test.
The super sprint will be done at the finish line at the conclusion of the men's race. So we'll have the top 5 represented at the awards ceremony. So appreciate you guys sticking around and watching some of that activity and making your way over to the Hyatt for the town hall meeting slated to start at 4:15. Two bags that are left in the bag check tent, number 983 and number 1049. If you could please claim your equipment as soon as possible, we can close the bag check-in tent for the evening. 983 and 1049. Thank you very much. We're holding up. I got lucky today. I had a good crew of people that did most of the announcing, so I just kind of stood back and did push-ups and sit-ups all day. That was it.
So we are 4 minutes away from introducing our athletes, our male athletes for this race. I know most of you are here for the women's race. $5,000 distributed among our top 5 women. And again, we saw Erin Jones go down on the bike, come back and win the race with kind of a sprint with Avery Evanson at the finish line. Taylor Spivey, who had been hit at least twice by bike during the race and running barefoot on her first lap, finished third. We've got a bit of a larger men's field, so it could be even more chaotic, I would expect, in the transition area. Look for Ben Canute, Eric Lagerstrom to be right up there in the swim bike sections for sure. Eric Lagerstrom celebrated his birthday at the Pan Am Games a few weeks ago. I remember singing happy birthday to him right near the start line. His primary role in that race was to swim and bike very hard and bring our leading male athlete, who we expected to be Kevin McDowell, and was. Kevin, I believe, finished 5th in the Pan Am Games with a large thanks to Eric Lagerstrom's hard work. Eric's also well known in social media for the videos he does. If you don't follow Eric Lagerstrom, it's kind of fun. He has a camera on his bike, and I would imagine by tonight, definitely tomorrow morning, he will post a video of him doing this race with commentary, and it's incredibly enlightening about the style of racing. You see how close they race, and he has a power meter on the camera or something. Somehow he has his power, his speed all tied into the video. It's just amazing. I'm looking at Dar Smith here warming up. Dar came out of, at least for me, came out of nowhere last year and finished second to Jared Shoemaker in a very, very, very close race. He finished second at Junior Nationals just this last week or two. Dar's only 17 years old. He's the tall guy standing there. Great athlete. Again, finished second last year. I mentioned Eric Lagerstrom a few weeks ago. He won Escape from Alcatraz in a sprint finish against Andy Potts. The Olympic distance athletes absolutely must get their bikes out of transition. It is closing, and they will not be able to get their bikes after the next couple minutes. So if anyone is out, has their bike in transition from the Olympic distance race this morning, please remove your bike. We are a minute away from introducing our athletes and getting this thing started. So last year, the women went 37:51. The men, again, it was Jared Shoemaker winning by 5 seconds over Dar Smith. 33 minutes, 19 seconds. Same course. 33 minutes. So a half an hour to two triathlons. The biggest surprise that I see in this field is 37-year-old David Thompson. I can remember David Thompson coming from Minnesota down to a race that I put on in Boulder, Colorado, a half Ironman 10 years ago, and his bike didn't arrive till 4 a.m. the day of the race. He put it together, rode it to the race, came from Minnesota to 5,430 feet altitude in Boulder, and set a course record on a half Ironman. He's a brilliant engineer. He is a tactician. He's 20 years older than Dar Smith. So it's quite a generation gap there. It's going to be great. It's going to be so great, David, racing this. Of course, Dar has the experience, and as you saw in the women's race, experience in this type of racing really does mean a lot. We also have 2 USA Triathlon Board of Director members racing. Ben Collins, who recently won the New York City Triathlon, is an elite athlete representative on the Board of Directors. And Steve Sexton, who is a former collegiate national champion from Berkeley, who has been on the Board of Directors for 4, 5, 6 years. Both volunteering their time to help promote the sport and grow the sport, are both racing. Ben raced last year. And finished 4th. So Ben's got the experience. He's a tough guy. Steve actually hasn't raced in a couple years. Every time we've had meetings, I've seen him sneak out afterward to go for a swim. But this is his first race in a couple years, and he's deciding whether to make a comeback and do half Ironman training. By the way, my name is Barry Siff, and I am president of USA Triathlon and probably the biggest fan of triathlon racing in the world. So it's just an honor to be here, and I'm excited as heck to call this race. All right, so we are ready for our athlete introduction. Wearing number 31, I spoke about him a minute ago. 37-year-old David Thompson from St. Paul, Minnesota. Wearing number 32 from Redwood City, California, Andrew Roos. 33 from Vail, Colorado, a Team USA member, John O'Neill. From Des Moines, Iowa, we have number 34, Alex Libben. Claremont, Florida, number 35, Chris Lutz. Number 36 from Madison, Wisconsin, Patrick Brady. Number 37, that tall 17-year-old, second place last year, Dar Smith. Number 38, from Kaloa, Iowa, Eli Hemming. Number 39, from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Ian King. A 20-year-old from Indianapolis, Indiana, Robbie Deckard. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, 30-year-old, number 41, Patrick Parrish. Number 43, 27, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Alex Willis. 24-year-old, again a Canadian, from Ancaster, Ontario, John Rasmussen. Number 45, from Guelph, Ontario, Alexander Hinton. Number 46, from Poway, California, Eric Lagerstrom. Number 47, 20-year-old, Mike Meehan. Number 48, 22-year-old from Santa Fe, from Tucson, Arizona, Ben Canute. I mentioned him before, from the board of directors, former collegiate national champion, Steve Sexton. And our fourth place finisher last year, winner of the New York City Triathlon, board of directors, Ben Collins.
That'd be 5:15. It might get pushed to 5:30, depending what time we get out of here. But 5:15 is our shot, our goal shot.
All right, it looks like the guys are lining up for the swim start. Any of you guys that are interested that are here at the finish line, there is a big screen that you can see the
Gentlemen,
swim if you're interested.
you are in
And
the
they're gonna
hands
be
of
sending
the
off in a
starter.
second here. We'll listen for the horn. There they go. 15 men here today, I think. Same exact distances as the females. 325-meter swim, 4K bike, 1.5K run, 2 times through. Finish line is a great spot to watch. You get to see them 14 times, I think I counted, if you're here. And I'm here with Mark Allen, and he would like to say a few words.
Oh, Karen Smyers, you are so kind. Do you know she is one of 2 people in the entire universe who won the ITU World Championship and the Ironman World Championship in the exact same year? If somebody can guess what year that was, you get an all-paid trip around the world. What year was that, ladies and gentlemen, that she won both of those races? Oh, thank God nobody got it because I didn't really have that ticket. It was in 1995. She won the Ironman World Championships in a dramatic finish where she was coming from behind pretty much the entire day, past Paula Newby-Fraser for the win. And then she went on a month later in Mexico and won the ITU World Olympic Distance Championship. Incredible athlete, Karen Smyers. But today, it's those folks that are in the water that we're talking about.
I knew I gave you the mic for a reason. Thank you very much, Mark. Does anyone know what male has won the ITU World Championship and the Ironman in the same year? He's sitting right here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mark Allen, the only 2 people in the universe to have done so in the same tent. It's amazing. All right, back to the thing at hand here. We have them circling through the first buoy, it looks like. And I think I should be able to tell you which people are out front very shortly. Are they out of the water? Where's my timer? Oh, here he is. Is this just the starting, or what is that?
Swim.
But they haven't come out yet, right? Okay.
They're not even in the race, probably.
No, they are. Like, I knew those names. That's why I was like, wait.
So they're just going under the bridge. It should be about 30 seconds before they come out, and they'll be running down this sidewalk. Expect to see a pretty big group coming out together. Again, Canute, Lagerstrom, and others.
Oh, shoot. Come back.
Okay, we can see them coming down the path. It looks like a pack of about, what is it, 3 or 4?
All right, the guys
Yeah, it's
are
gonna
out
be
of the
tight.
water.
Be a lot
And
more
leading
men
the
coming
pack,
in
it's
here
Ben Canute,
very shortly.
as expected, right in the front.
We'll try to call
followed
it.
by John Rasmussen, Alexander Hinton, and Dar Smith.
So again, 5 laps of the bike, 4 kilometers. I do see Ben Canute for sure. I see one of our Canadian athletes.
John O'Neill, Chris Lutz, Robbie Deckard, Steve Sexton, Eli Hemming.
Hinton, Canute, Rasmussen. So our 2 Canadian athletes sandwiching Ben Canute. And there's Dar Smith, our 17-year-old. Gonna be a crowd favorite.
Out of the water in that order.
Let's hear it. Here's Eric Lagerstrom, John O'Neill. Great group. There's Ben Collins coming out. Ben Collins with a very strong. I apologize for not knowing his number early on, but you'll see plenty of him.
4 seconds.
Eli Hemming is out. Steve Sexton is out. Roos, Knobs.
Willis are out of the water.
There goes Eli Hemming. There goes Descartes, Alex Libben, Ben Collins. There goes Steve Sexton.
Right here they come through on the bike.
My, oh my, again. Collins coming off the New York City Triathlon win. Steve Sexton in his first race in a couple of years, right there. Dylan Knobs and Ian King. Here's Alex Willis and Patrick Brady. So we're looking at our head official here, Jay Ritterback, who's
3 people kind of
placing a wetsuit to the side. So we've got. So here comes that lead pack. As expected, Ben Canute, followed by our 2 Canadians. We expected Canute and Lagerstrom. There's Eric Lagerstrom. He's going to do everything he can to get on that pack. There's David Thompson.
This second lap, right? And here comes
Chris Lutz just going out.
it's Ben Canute, Rasmussen, and Dar Smith.
We do have 2 athletes who did not put their wetsuits into their baskets. And as a result, one of them, I think, was David Thompson, who's right up there. I think it's going to be a 10-second penalty.
Group here, Deckard, Hemming,
Again,
O'Neill,
they need to place their used equipment in the basket.
Inroad.
Again, David Thompson isn't an ITU racer, so that's news to him.
Here are our leaders finishing second lap. It looks like they're working together. That'll help them to stay away.
So these guys are obviously working together really, really well. Canute was leading in that first lap. We've got Rasmussen and Smith.
3 to go.
Dar Smith. I'll tell you, this guy was made for this kind of racing, and that pack is working together very, very well. We'll see if Eric Lagerstrom can get up with them. He'll add some oomph to them. Lagerstrom is probably the most experienced super sprint racer I've seen. I've been watching him at races for the last 3 years like this. Again, those of you on Twitter or Facebook, you should try to find him tonight so you can watch his video of this race from inside the pack. Steve Sexton leading that pack right there with 4 guys. Again, Sexton's been out of racing for a couple of years, showing his competitiveness.
Lap 3. It's
Patrick Parrish.
working together. Lagerstrom trying. It looks like he's close.
And Patrick's from Minneapolis. Alex Willis coming through from New Mexico.
Thompson.
There's Dar Smith. So you can see they're taking turns. They're taking turns at the lead, although John Rasmussen's been in back. There's Lagerstrom making the move to catch on. I'll expect to see Lagerstrom on that pack at the end of this lap. Again, Eric, very, very experienced. Ben Canute
Like he
has been extremely strong in the I2 races this year. One of our top ranked athletes, has a very solid shot at going to Rio on Team USA next year. We will definitely see him in Chicago at the World Championships. Ben finished the University of Arizona in 3 years. So we already had at least one athlete lapped, but he stays in the race. In ITU racing and World Triathlon Series racing, he would be pulled from the course. But we keep everyone in the race right now, but we do have someone at least one lap down.
1 lap to go for the lead group.
So we're coming on the bell lap for our leaders. There goes Dar Smith. It's the bell lap. Ben Canute, Dar Smith, Eric Lagerstrom, John Rasmussen. So as predicted, Lagerstrom catches on to the pack. He knew he would. He didn't have to kill himself. There goes David Thompson.
Here are our leaders again. 1 on the bike. Group of 4. Still Smith, Lagerstrom, Hinton, and Canute. Thompson and Hinton not too far back. They could still latch back on in the run.
So again, we've got the leaders coming in after this lap. Not a lot of surprises. I mean, Ben Canute, Eric Lagerstrom, Dar Smith, John Rasmussen, who I apologize, I don't know much about, but he's obviously very, very strong. I'll get some information on him. And here they come. Here's the transition. Ben Canute, John Rasmussen, Eric Lagerstrom, Dar Smith. Eric misplaced his bike. He's got his shoes. There goes Ben. There goes Rasmussen right on his tail. Dar Smith's working at the transition. There goes Dar. There's a little crash. There goes Dar and Lagerstrom running together. And we know Dar Smith can run. David Thompson, 37-year-old longer distance specialist, having a phenomenal race. I don't think he knows at this point that he's got a penalty to serve. John O'Neill coming in with a great transition. Robbie Deckard going out very, very strong from Indianapolis.
David Thompson in 5th. And Hinton in 6th. Goes through 5 today. So they will be battling for that 5th position.
Ian King from Virginia Beach. Good job, Rob. Patrick Parrish making his move from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Alex Willis right here. So it looks like Ben Collins must have had a disappointing mechanical. He's walking his bike back to transition. We'll get a word with him for sure. So Andrew Roos coming in, did an extra lap on the bike. Again, it's a responsibility of the athletes to know their laps, but yeah, he was right up there after the swim. Got to get his shoes on. He's not going to pull a Taylor Spivey and run barefoot. There goes Steve Sexton running, looking very, very strong. All right, Andrew, shake it off. Here come our leaders right now, Ben Canute. We've seen Ben Canute in this position many times. John Rasmussen, Bell Lapp, Dar Smith, Eric Lagerstrom. These are the people we expected to see up there. No surprises. This is Alexander Hinton from Ontario. And David Thompson beating it up this hill. Alex Libben, again a Team USA athlete. Robbie Deckard, John O'Neill. You can see most of them carrying their goggles with them.
Here they are, group of 4 all together. This is going to be an interesting second half of the race. So they are finishing up the run, and they're going to do it all over again. They're going to dive back into the water, the 325-meter swim, 5 more laps on the bike, 2 more laps on the run.
So a little bit about John Rasmussen. He's in that lead pack. I don't know much about him. Here we go. He ran cross country and track and swimming in high school. He ran varsity cross country and track and swimming at McMaster University. He finished 4th at the Sarasota Patco Sprint Triathlon. So he's got some good credentials. He's trying to make the Canadian team for the Rio Olympics and then become a doctor. So like Sam Kennedy in our women's race, going to med school. Again, he's 24 years old, swimmer and runner in college.
Let's hear it for our leaders. Lagerstrom has the lead, right behind him, Smith, Canute, and Rasmussen.
That's Chris Lutz and Steve Sexton looking very strong on the run on their Bell Lap. And here come our leaders. It looks like Lagerstrom's making a move to be comfortable into the transition. So here comes Lagerstrom, Canute, Dar Smith, John Rasmussen. They'll get rid of their running shoes, grab their goggles. They need their cap and goggles, go around the bikes, and dive back into the swim. Here's Alexander Hinton looking like he's already ready to run in the water. He's going to get right to this group. Fantastic transition for Hinton. So that group of 4 could become a quick group of 5 if he gets in there.
And see that portion of the race.
So David Thompson, Alex Libben, John O'Neill in the hunt. Again, the money's 5 deep. They got 5 guys ahead of them. The money is 5 deep. There are 5 guys that just went in the water. Great race. Again, Robbie Deckard going in there. Mike Meehan from Pennsylvania, he's off, throwing his shoes off, out. And Dylan Nobbs taking off from Colorado Springs. Patrick Parrish coming in right now. So again, anyone who's done this race before will tell you this is definitely the toughest part of the race. I'm going to get over here with Sarah McClarty. Talk to me for a second, okay? So I'm here with Sarah McClarty, the most experienced super sprinter in the United States. Sarah, is this the toughest part of the race?
Barry, this is definitely the toughest part of the race. Very rarely do you ever have to run 1 mile. I mean, the effort that you're putting out at 1 mile is significantly different than the effort you're doing in a 5K or a 10K. So after sprinting a 1 mile, then you have to somehow manage to get your cap and goggles on your head. Your hands aren't working, and then dive in the water and go full throttle. So they're in a world of hurt right now.
How are their arms? How's the blood flow on the arms and the legs?
Of that top
It's all in your legs. All your blood is in your legs. Nothing's in your arms. Today, Barry, was a lot different than the other ones because of the cooler water. And I think that really made it a little easier for me. So of the 6 or 7 super sprints that I've done in the past couple of years, this one was, I'd say, the easiest because I think that coolness just really helped you move around and everything.
Seemed a bit crazier today at least on the women's side, at least with a couple of the women there. Was it just because of lack of experience, the speed, the tightness, or just random?
Pretty exciting.
Do you even know what for Taylor Spivey, for Erin Jones going down? A lot of blood and confusion out there today.
This is fast racing, Barry, and things are going to happen. Some of the girls might have put their head down around a corner, or I heard some people walked on the course. So make sure you guys are staying off the course for our athletes. But the super faster speeds, bunch of tight turns, all different kinds of things. Yeah, blood was drawn, and so it's tough out there.
Well, thank you, Sarah McClarty. And so far, it's been a clean men's race. I will tell you, a couple guys have penalties to serve, which they don't know about at this point, to the best of my knowledge. And one of them is David Thompson. And one guy did an extra lap because he was caught up in people who were down by a lap. So you've really got to pay attention. It is super fast, and you got to be thinking all the time. I mean, when you're running that last lap, you got to be thinking about the swim, getting your goggles on, getting your shoes off, etc. So crazy racing.
What really factors in is the fact that when you're running, you're able to breathe freely at the rhythm you want.
So one person, and let me see who that was. That was Dylan Nobbs. Dylan Nobbs, number 50, already served his penalty. He had a penalty for not putting his wetsuit in his basket. So he's
Well said, Karen.
I was just corrected. His penalty was not wetsuit related. He picked up his bike, took possession of it before his helmet was attached under his chin. So your helmet has to be on before you take possession of the bike. That was spotted. He's got to serve it. He did serve a 10-second penalty. David Thompson, meanwhile, will need to serve 10 seconds later, sometime on the run probably. So that's Ben Canute. You can't miss his running style. He's leading that group. That's Eric Lagerstrom right there. We've seen the two of them in this position all over the world. What we haven't seen is a 17-year-old by the name of Dar Smith right on their heels, nor a 24-year-old named John Rasmussen from Canada. So we definitely have a race here. Canute and Lagerstrom know each other so well. They know their strengths, and they're going to ride together. Dar and John have to get a quick transition and get on with Lagerstrom and Canute because those guys are the most experienced. Dar Smith right there. John Rasmussen right there. You've got the pack. And it is going to be very, very hard to catch those four. I got to say, I mean, anything can happen, but that's your podium right there. 3 of those 4 will be the top 3. Again, we pay 5 deep. Alexander Hinton having a great race. Got about 15 seconds perhaps behind that lead pack. He's too far ahead of the next group to kind of wait to get some help. So he's just going to have to give everything to try to get to that lead pack, which quite frankly is going to be an enormous tax. Alex Libben's been racing down in South America, as has been John O'Neill. Here's our longer course specialist, David Thompson, coming in. So those 3 will work together for sure. I'm gauging they're going to get some help from David Thompson. Strong cyclist. So we've got these guys coming around now for 5 laps. And it looks like, yep, Canute and Lagerstrom making a very strong move. Now there you can see the bike skills of 2 of the best USA cyclists. And that's experience. Those 2 are by far the most experienced racing at this speed around these kinds of corners. And those of you fortunate enough to be on a corner can just see that little difference. And when you're doing 5 laps for this many corners, it makes a huge difference.
Between second and third. Group of 2.
Patrick Parrish coming in for his second bike ride,
Finishing lap 2.
along with Chris Lutz.
Still that group of 4.
There goes O'Neill Thompson.
The top 2 and the next 2.
So there go Knut and Lagerstrom making a little bit of time on Smith and Rasmussen. Dar Smith doing a lot of work up there to keep those guys in sight. We'll see if his youth can come to his advantage.
The gap is growing a little bit, it looks like. Smith and Rasmussen trying to close it down. It's going to get a little confusing because some riders are being lapped here. We'll try and keep track.
The gap's only about 5 seconds, but it's definitely a bigger gap than it was in the first 2 laps. The guys up front are working together. They don't want to have anybody catch them. They want to have as few people as possible in that company when it comes down to the run. And even if it's a
So
sprint
again,
at the
Andrew
finish,
Roos coming
2
in.
is
I know
better
he's
than 4.
disappointed. He's going to give everything he's got on this bike. He put in an extra lap on the bike. Unfortunately, we can't take a lap away this time around. So I just got informed we have another penalty. Mounting before the mount line. So that's another 10-second penalty. There goes Knut and Lagerstrom. Look at those two work together. I mean, if you're a fan of this sport, you got to love seeing Ben Knut and Eric Lagerstrom work together on this bike. But my gosh, John Rasmussen and Dar Smith, 17 years old. Remember that name. We said the same thing last year, except I think he was 16.
Leaders coming through for lap 4. Now it looks like the gap has gotten a little smaller again. It looks like about maybe 3 seconds now. It looks like this is going to come down to the run between those 4 people.
Patrick Brady coming in here. Good job, Patrick. This is tough, tough racing with the best in the world. So again, 5 laps, 4 kilometers on the bike, 2 laps, 1.5 kilometer on the run. Perfect weather. You might have heard Sarah McClarty earlier say that because of the colder temperatures in the water, it was a lot easier this year than last year, at least for her. There's Lagerstrom and Knut.
6 seconds now. So that is definitely still.
And there's Dar Smith and John Rasmussen.
They finish this next lap.
So really, Knut and Lagerstrom haven't made much of a gap on Rasmussen and Dar Smith.
Thank you for that.
It will clearly come down to the run. Dar Smith did the same thing last year, racing against our Olympian, Jared Shoemaker. And I imagine Jared would have been here this week if it wasn't for breaking his collarbone last week in Rio. Huge blow to USA Triathlon, to Team USA, and of course to Jared Shoemaker. He's out with a broken collarbone for probably 4 to 6 weeks.
And they are finishing up their fifth
So
lap
again,
now.
the leaders are on their bell lap. We'll see Lagerstrom and Knut come in here
Knut and Lagerstrom
for
trying to
2
off their bikes.
laps of the run and for the championship. So watch this dismount. Look at this dismount. There they go, side by side.
Fourth. This is going to be an interesting run.
Okay, so Ben Knut, Eric Lagerstrom battling each other. 2 friends, 2 patriots.
From the first
There goes Knut.
similar in their running.
There goes Lagerstrom. Great transition for Knut.
Save something.
We're looking for Dar Smith.
And here comes our first runner. It's Ben Knut in the lead, followed closely by Lagerstrom. It's a 2-lap run. 2 seconds. Rasmussen in third, about 8 seconds back maybe. Smith only a few seconds behind him in fourth. Used to be in 6th.
Okay, here's Alexander
He's
Hinton. So
biking
we've
with
got
his,
4 in.
I just
This is
noticed David
5th right
Thompson,
now.
who wasn't 6th. I'm not
Again,
sure. I don't think he
Lundy's
still
5
is.
deep,
But I noticed he has
but he's
bare
definitely
feet
in
on
the race.
speed play
Alexander
pedals.
Hinton from
Ouch.
Welsh, Canada.
Something might have happened to his shoe, and he's had to
And here's
continue
Alex
bare
Libben
feet
and
on
John
a
O'Neill. So these
tiny
guys
little
are
speed play pedal. That
battling
is not easy to
for
do.
the 5th spot for
Well, Aaron Spivey,
$500, I
that's a
believe.
little different. You got the whole pavement and all of your foot on
So
those
John
speed
O'Neill
plays.
and Alex Libben, I think
Like
that's
you said,
$500 in front of you. There you go, John. Patrick Parrish coming in for the run.
And here
So my
comes
only
our-
guess on what David Thompson did, I know David Thompson had one more lap on the bike. He had to serve a penalty. He's not familiar with this type of racing, so I'm wondering whether he thought he had to serve his penalty before the end of the bike. That's my only guess. But here he comes, shoeless. We saw Taylor Spivey run shoeless. We now saw David Thompson bike an entire lap with no shoes.
Rasmussen and Smith tied for 3rd and 4th.
But he has served his penalty, and there he goes, David Thompson. What a warrior. Here comes Lagerstrom, making a big gap with 1 lap to go. Eric Lagerstrom, Ben Canute. So Lagerstrom making a serious move on the run. They've got less than half a mile, about a half mile to go. They've got about an 8-second gap, I would say. And here's Dar Smith and John Rasmussen battling it out. Look at Dar Smith's face, giving it everything. Dar Smith battling for 3rd, keeping a gap on John Rasmussen.
He's within sight of the finish. Few hundred meters.
I'm going to make my way down to the finish line. I hope you enjoyed today's super sprint. They'll be finishing in just a minute. Thank you to everybody that's here. Congrats to everybody who raced this morning. Good luck to everybody who races tomorrow. And thank you, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
He's in the chute, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Lagerstrom holding on to the lead.
Show him the love. Give him a cheer here. Here he comes.
Yeah, really. Time to high five the spectators. Eric Lagerstrom from San Diego, California is our Super Sprint Milwaukee champion today. Second place coming to the line is Ben Canute from Geneva, Illinois. Well done, Ben. Who is this again? Smith. And in 3rd place, it's Dar Smith. Dar Smith coming off a 2nd place at the Junior Nationals last weekend. John Rasmussen.
Dar, when you get a set?
Coming across in 4th place, it was John Rasmussen from Canada.
Eric Ben.
Let me do 5th, and then, because they're the prize money winners. He's coming right now.
Coming in.
The Canadian guy was Hinton, right? Is it Alexander Hinton? And it's Alexander Hinton, our 5th place finisher and final prize money winner of the day. Also a Canadian.
Good. So I'm here with our winner, Eric Lagerstrom, one of the most experienced super sprinters that we've got in the United States. The guy wins the escape from Alcatraz a few weeks ago, out sprinting Andy Potts. Today, he had to out sprint his fellow Team USA athlete, Ben Canute. Come on over here, Ben Canute. So what was it with you two guys racing all day? I know you're friends. You know each other so well and how you race. How'd it go out there, Eric?
It went pretty well. The one thing I was a bit unprepared for was the wetsuit swim. Every time I've been to a super sprint, they just kind of say, we're not doing wetsuits. We're not even going to measure the water temperature. So I didn't even bring one, and then spent the whole first ride trying to catch this guy.
Ben Canute, what was it like for you out there? You've got a lot of experience with this kind of racing. You certainly know Eric very well. You two work together well out there.
It's just, I knew Eric was running fast. I knew a lot of those guys were running fast, so it's just trying to keep track of everybody, try and save as much energy as possible, and he just had quick legs today, so.
He did have quick legs today and in San Francisco. But what about the 17-year-old Dar Smith? I mean, coming from Junior Nationals last week, we saw him last year here. Dar, what is it about this race that you just can race with this level of athlete?
I love this distance, the short distance. It's where I have my specialty right now. It felt good out there and happy to hang on as close as I could.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Dar Smith when we start talking about Tokyo 2020. But for right now, we're talking about Ben Canute and Eric Lagerstrom for Rio 16. So let's hear it for these guys. Great racing. Congratulations. Mark Allen. And let's get one final word from our guest here, who maybe Dar Smith. Dar, do you know who this is? Yeah, you do? Okay. 17 years old. What were you doing 17 years ago?
17, I was beginning my retirement. So, he was not born when I was racing. 1995 was my last year.
So Dar was born in 1998. Mark Allen, 6-time Ironman world champion, one of the absolute greatest, first ITU world champion in Avignon, France in 1989. Mark, what do you think of this kind of racing?
This is exciting. I did a little bit of this kind of format my final year that I raced, and it's painful. It's really painful. But this is amazing training to get ready for Chicago, ITU Worlds, and Olympics beyond.
Well, we're going to see these two in Chicago for sure. Dar, you're not going to Chicago. Juniors in Chicago. Yeah, we'll see you there for sure, but we'll be watching for you for Tokyo 2020. Again, give it up for our top three. Dar Smith, Ben Canute, Eric Lagerstrom. Thank you all, and we'll see you at the award ceremony at the Hyatt, at our town hall meeting at the Hyatt, which starts in about... starts now. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and thank you, USA Triathlon.